Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Dr. Carter, for your service and your willingness to continue that service to our country. I appreciated our frank conversation that we had in my office the other day, and look forward to many more in the future. In that conversation, and today also, you talk about the deterrence, our nuclear deterrence in this country as being the bedrock of our defense. I appreciate your views on that, and I agree with your views. We also talked about modernization and the importance of modernization and how, as a country, we need to step forward and really see that through if we are going to continue to enjoy the security that we have as a country. So thank you for your comments on that. In 2013, you led the Strategic Choices and Management Review, and in that review, one of the decisions was to reduce major headquarters budgets by 20% by 2019. That plan was required in our NDAA in FY 2014. But the GAO has issued several reports that really cast doubt on if that is going to take place. And even if we have an accurate picture on what the full resources currently are that are devoted to that headquarters staff. So a couple questions here. Will you, if confirmed, maintain the goal of that 20% reduction in headquarters budget and staff? And how are you going to accomplish it if we don't have any idea of what those numbers are?
I certainly think it's important to diminish headquarters staff and other forms of overhead. I think the 20% goal was a sound one. I do not know where it stands in terms of implementation now, but if I am confirmed, I'll get back to that and try to meet that goal. Because we just got to get rid of the overhead here so that we can spend the dollars we have on the warfighter, which is what it's all about.
Have you seen the GAO report questioning if those numbers are even out there, if they're even available? And if you believe that, how are you going to get the numbers?
I have not seen that GAO report, but if I am confirmed, we'll find out where the department stands in terms of implementing that goal, and if they're off track, try to get them back on track, because I think it's a good goal.
Do you think now is the time that we should look at elevating cyber to its own command, or even with the commission that we had yesterday, there's a recommendation in that commission for a joint readiness command. When we look at overhead and administrative costs, what would be your initial response to those that are promoting ideas for additional commands?
Well, I mean, I'm all for paying much more attention to cyber and think we need to do that. But the creation of new commands and new headquarters in this budgetary environment is something I think we need to look at very closely and very cautiously.
As you know, our chairman, Senator McCain, is interested, as we all are, in gaining more knowledge about the information sharing with regards to our cybersecurity threats. That's one area that I believe has broad support. We know there's support not just from members of this committee and members of Congress, but also the President has discussed the need for information sharing on those cybersecurity threats. I agree that information sharing and better defense is a first step, but do you think that we can achieve relative cybersecurity simply by improving those defenses? Or do we need to perhaps go on the offense and impose more, I guess you could say, visible costs with regards to our actions on cybersecurity?
I think both are important. We need to improve our defenses, but we also need to improve our abilities to respond. And those responses can be in cyberspace or in other ways, but certainly they should include the option to respond in cyberspace.
And the option to respond, would you say that would include demonstrating that we have the capability to do so? Is that part of our deterrence when it comes to protecting our country, our agencies, and private businesses when it comes to cyber attacks?
I agree with you. I think deterrence requires that a potential aggressor know that you have the capability to respond. And they obviously can't know all the details of that, or they may be able to counter your response, but they certainly should know that you can respond.
And would respond if necessary.
And would respond, absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator McCaskill.
Thank you.